I'm Dana K. White. I am the author of Decluttering at the Speed of Life. I'm the creator of the No Mess decluttering process. And today I'm going to talk about forgetfulness, the fear of forgetting, specifically for those of us who tend to be very forgetful. This fear of forgetfulness can result in a lot of clutter problems, and it can make the idea of decluttering very scary and very daunting. And this fear can be the thing that stops us from getting started decluttering in the first place, because we're afraid of forgetting because of our natural tendency to be forgetful, okay? I just want to assure you that my solution is not be a different person. Okay, I know that that's not what people are saying when they give ideas on how to not be forgetful, right? I know that they're not saying that. And yet, as someone who tends to be very forgetful, who has tried a lot of different solutions over the years to be less forgetful and has failed many times, it often feels like the only solution for me would be to be a different person than I am, to have a different brain than the one that I have. It feels like it's not actually possible to make decluttering progress when my fear of forgetfulness is the problem. So what am I talking about when I say forgetfulness and clutter problems? All right. These are things I used to say that I know many of you have said because you have said them to me, right? Like, this is what I used to say. I have to have everything out where I can see it so that I won't forget, right? Or if I put things away, I forget that I have those things. Or, well, if I put it away, I forget where I put it. And so therefore, isn't it better to just not put it away, right? Except that I didn't like the way my house was with stuff everywhere. I don't like stuff covering my surfaces. I don't like having, honestly, my worst nightmare is open cabinetry. Like, that is not a solution because I don't want that. I don't want stuff everywhere. It would backfire for me to have this mindset of, you know what, I just have to have things out where I can see it. Because when I needed to clean up my house, when I needed to have people over, I did not like the way that it looked, right? And so therefore, I would clean up, I would pile everything into the primary bedroom where we could lock the door, right? And then if there was a semblance of logic for piles and where those piles were and things, that was completely thrown out the window when I had to gather and shove, right? And the gathering and shoving was not an option for me because I was never going to let anybody in my house when it was the way that it was, even though the way it was, I had this logic of, but I have to have everything out where I can see it, right? Okay. The other thing too, if you know me at all, you know that the container concept has been the most transformational concept for me. And that, the short version, Reed, if you can link to that here, you can go watch the video on the container concept to understand what I'm talking about. But basically, I didn't understand that there was a limit to how much stuff I could have, right? I just brought stuff into my house without any idea of limits. And letting a container be a limit has been transformational for me because it helps me see, oh, that's the limit to how much of this thing that I can have. Well, as long as things were spread out everywhere, all over my house and out where I could see it, those limits didn't naturally exist. So I already didn't understand limits, right? But especially when things are on countertops, there's no limit to that. I mean, there is a limit, right? But it's a very different kind of a limit, right? Because I could just keep piling and piling and piling and piling, right? Or spreading and spreading and spreading. Like, as long as I thought of the floor as a place to put something, then so much stuff could live on the floor, right? But obviously that backfired because this idea that I have to have it out where I can see it, but then things are piled, means that there's stuff at the bottom of the pile and I don't even know what that is and I can't see it. And so it didn't actually play out to be helpful to me to have my stuff out where I could see it, okay? Besides, again, I didn't like it. So this idea that I needed it this way to be able to function was actually keeping me from functioning. That's backfiring. Okay, so let's talk about the idea that if I put something away, I'll never remember where I put it, right? Okay, my first decluttering question, which I developed in my own home for my own stuff, for my own situation, solves this problem. So let's talk about that. I know I've talked a lot about this question lately, but this is just one example of how that question's been so powerful for me, okay? So the question is, if I needed this item, where would I look for it first, okay? There is no need to remember anything as I'm asking that question. In fact, I am only asking that question when I can't remember. Okay? When I have no idea. If I knew where something goes, it already left in step 2 of my no mess decluttering process, which is the easy stuff, the stuff that I already know where it goes, right? So when I'm asking this question, it is specifically for the thing that does not have a home or that I've forgotten where the home is, right? So I'm asking, where would I look for it first? In a moment of thinking to myself, I know I have that, I have forgotten where it is, okay? Where's the first place where I would look for it, not knowing it's there, not knowing where it's gonna be? And then I put it in that place, and what happens is I find it, right? Because I am not remembering where it goes, I'm acting on instinct. Remembering isn't required. Knowing that remembering, forgetting is not part of this equation at all is generally the thing that allows me to move forward. Remember what I said before? Like, it is a roadblock for decluttering to think, oh, but I'm gonna have to remember and I can't remember and forgetfulness is an issue and blah, blah, blah. We're taking that out of the equation. I'm just saying, where's the first place where I would look for it if I was looking for this item, having forgotten where it goes, okay? Having had no idea where it would be. There's nothing to remember. I am just identifying and acting on that instinct of where's the first place where I would look for it. Here's the thing. I don't put it there and then have to remember. This is going to be a little bit like, wait, what? My goal as I declutter, I give items a home. I identify their home according to where I would look for it first. And then I put it there. And I don't have to remember where I put it. And I used to think that that was required for getting organized, right? Like, give something a home. And then part of that is remembering what that home was. I don't have to do that, because I acted on an instinct when I gave it the home. And so when I'm looking for something and I don't know where it goes, I don't know where it's going to be, I ask myself the same question again. I say, okay, so I need this item. Where would I look for it first? 99 times out of 100, it is the same instinctual answer that I gave when I asked the question as a way to determine where to put this item. Okay, so it takes the fear of forgetfulness out of this process. It takes that away as a reason to be scared of organizing, okay? I'm removing that need to remember. I'm removing the fear of forgetfulness, okay? Even if you're not convinced that your answer 6 months from now to, well, where would I look for it first, that your answer would be the same as it is right now while you're decluttering, give it a try. Even when it's not the same, I generally find it in the second place where I look for it. Occasionally in the third, and then when I go to put it away, I just put it back in that first place where I looked for it, right? And all of this builds on itself, giving things a home that doesn't require remembering. And there is something about having removed this burden of remembering, this fear of forgetfulness from this whole get my house under control deslobification process of mine, right? Like, when I have removed that, it has removed so much of the pressure from it. And it has made my focus in my home be on functionality above all else. And every time I am able to find something quickly, easily in the first place where I look for it without having agonized over, wait, where did I put that? Where did I put, without all of that, it just builds my confidence in the functionality and in this process. All right. Does that make sense? Okay. So it's not a matter of remembering. It's a matter of embracing and identifying that instinct of where I would look for it first when I don't remember. And that takes off the pressure of remembering. But also, the second part of my first decluttering question is take it there now. Okay. It's not really a question, but it's the most important part. This is the key to the no mess decluttering process, is take it there now. Taking it there now has so many benefits. I can stop at any time. I haven't created a bigger mess. Knowing I can stop at any time lets me get started. I can declutter in whatever time I have available, all those things, right? All those things. But as someone who fears forgetting and whose fear of forgetting is based in a lot of experience, the truth is that take it there now eliminates a whole lot of fears about forgetting, and it eliminates the need for me to remember. If I take it there now, I don't want to take it there now, but if I take it to this place where I would look for it first, when I get there, I put it in its place and I am done. That's it. I don't have to remember to go put it away before I actually finish this project. I don't have to remember where it was that I already came up with as an answer to where would I look for it first. There's nothing to remember. Once it's done, I don't have to think about it anymore. I don't have to fear like, okay, Dana, this is what I used to do when I would try to declutter. I was like, okay, this time, don't get distracted, and I would have to step away because life happens, right? Okay, don't forget to come back. Don't forget to come back. That never worked. But when I take it there now, that's it. It's done. It takes all of those issues away. This overall mindset, going through the decluttering process, asking myself where I would look for it first, taking it there now, little by little by little of real, unbacktrackable progress and only progress, right? That changes my whole home and my brain's relationship with my home as far as the pressure that I used to feel that made me feel hopeless about my home, the pressure of remembering and, oh no, I'm going to forget. All of that is removed. Okay, so I'm going to say something and I try to wrap your brain around it, right? The goal is not to remember what's in every cabinet or every drawer or every room or every closet, okay? The goal is not for someone to say, hey, what's in that cabinet right there? And me be able to say this, and this. That, okay. I mean, if you can do that, awesome, right? That's not the goal. The goal is that when I need the thing, I know where to look for it. And it's in the place where I look for it. That's the goal, okay? So try to wrap your brain around that, okay? It is not about facts and figures. It's about function. So an example, this cabinet right here, which I know you can't really see, but this cabinet right here, I kind of had a vague idea of what was in there, right? But it's not about me being able to say what's in this cabinet. It's about me being able to say, where is the projector unit? Okay. And when I opened it up, there it was. When I needed the projector unit, there it was, projector, whatever it's called. There it is. When I opened it up, I also saw that it's the instruction booklet for our fireplace doolally. Okay. And I was like, I had no idea that that was in there, but it doesn't matter. What matters is when we need the instruction booklet for the fireplace doolally, it's right here. Okay. And that it's in the place where I would look for it first, which obviously I see it right now. I know that it's there, but in thinking it through, I was like, yes, that is where I would look first for the fireplace instruction booklet and little doolollies that go with it. Okay. That is the reason why I don't ask my second decluttering question first. So my second decluttering question, I only ask if I can't answer the first one, and it is, if I needed this item, would it occur to me that I already had one? Okay. I don't ask that first because I am the forgetful person. Therefore, I am often incredibly surprised when I'm decluttering. And I'm like, oh, totally forgot about that item, right? But that doesn't mean that if I ask myself the question, if I needed this item, where would I look for it first, that I don't have an answer for that, okay? Just because it surprised me that it was there doesn't mean that in the moment when I needed it, it wouldn't have occurred to me, yes, I've got it somewhere, I'm gonna go look for it, right? But just this random idea that there are instruction booklet and little remote thingy for our fireplace doolally is in there. Like, I don't live a life where I'm thinking about that ever, right? But I ask that question, where would I look for it first? Okay, so I flip those two because otherwise, as a forgetful person, it would make me not want to declutter. If I made up the rule for myself, right? Because you don't have to do any of this, right? Just whatever works for you. But if I decided that anything that surprised me when I opened up a cabinet was gonna leave my house, well, I wouldn't declutter, right? Because a lot of things surprise me because I'm a forgetful person. And then here's the last thing. My struggle with remembering what I have and where it is has significantly decreased as I have gotten rid of so much stuff in my house. The less stuff that I have, the less I have to remember as a general rule, and the easier it is for me to have a much better awareness of what I have. When I don't have piles sitting out, there is something that happens in my brain that just makes my brain a little more at ease and a little less stressed. And the less stressed that my brain is, the better I am at remembering where things are. The more that I put things in the place where I would look for it first, I embrace the reality of that space and say, you know what? It can't all fit. Something has to leave to give room to this thing that deserves space there. The more I get rid of things and my house is functional, under control, I'm not stressed over the thought of a doorbell ringing, right? That less stress that I am under because there is less stuff then results in me not stressing as much about the remembering, right? So the first step is to realize that remembering is not crucial to being able to declutter. The second is to remember that it is not a matter of memorizing every single thing that you have and where it is in your house. It's just a matter of putting it in the place where you would look for it first, so that when you do think of it and you do need it, it's right where you look in the first place, right? And then just to realize that a house with less stuff makes this whole stress over forgetfulness less. Less stuff, less forgetfulness. Obviously, there may be other reasons at play for your forgetfulness. You may have stress that has nothing to do with your house and the amount of stuff that you have. You may have medical conditions, all of those things. I'm just saying from my own experience, having less stuff in my house, using the strategy of putting things in the place where I would look for it first has significantly improved my ability to declutter and my ability to have my house under control. Okay, before I go, I want to make sure you know, if you're watching this in real time, September 20th, if you are anywhere near Dallas, Texas, specifically Waxahachie, Texas, Jane Askew, an Ellis County realtor, is bringing me in for a live in-person workshop for her community. You'll learn all about decluttering from me. We'll have discussions around the topic. It is really going to move you forward in your efforts to declutter, specifically if you are considering moving at any time. You got to declutter, right? So it's such a perfect fit that Jane is having me come in, and I'm so excited to do this workshop with her and hopefully to meet some of you there. Look in the description of this video for a link to sign up for the event. Okay, I'll talk to y'all next week. Bye.